It was a question that arose because the week that I was approached by Nino Cassese to find out if I was interested in becoming the chief prosecutor. They were desperate. They were waiting for 15 months already for a prosecutor. I obviously had to consult with President Mandela, and he said, well, I'm forced to tell you that I would like you to be on our first constitutional court. And I said to him, well, that makes it easy for me to refuse, because nothing would induce me to give up the opportunity of being on our country's first constitutional court. And he said, no, not so quickly. He said, I want you to do both. He said, I think if they would accept you for a limited period of 2 years, we will keep your seat warm on the court. And I then discussed it with a couple of colleagues, and they raised the point. They said, is it appropriate for a member of our highest court to become a prosecutor?
Right.
And I used the Jackson precedent, and that carried the day. And it went further because Louise Arbour, who was my successor,
Right.
Had exactly the same question asked of her. She was on the Ontario Supreme Court, and she could turn around and say, well, I have two precedents.
Yeah.
And it was a very important precedent, and I'm not sure that I would have felt comfortable accepting that position, but for the Robert Jackson precedent.
You being in South Africa at the time, what else did Jackson mean to you? Did he have a reputation?
Well, he did to me as a judge, because I'd read his opinions, and in fact, there was one wonderful opinion, which is my favorite Jackson opinion. I don't remember the name of the case, but it was a case in which he came to the conclusion that an opinion he gave in his previous capacity was wrong. And he found some wonderful old English citations, and one of them is always stuck in my mind. He said, he quoted the judge in a similar position who decided his previous opinion was wrong. And he said, it amazes me that somebody with an intellect like that could have come to that conclusion. So there were some wonderful Jackson judgments, and when I first went on the bench, I found a book of Jackson opinions. He'd been present in my mind long before I dreamt of having any position as an international prosecutor.